Good morning, traders. I hope you guys are ready to fade me. Let's see what happens. You guys know where you're at. Live trading with Benzinga. Can we get back into the green? Let's get after it, team.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. It's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, team, how we doing out there? We're going to get after it here with a little bit of some live trading action. So don't go anywhere. We got a good show for you guys, and we'll see what we can get into and see if we can find some good trades. Let's bring on the boys today. We got some Brian Faluna in the house, and a little bit of course, a flex. We got Nick Brown in the house. We're going to get after it, team. You guys know it. News by Nick. He'll be dropping some bombs in here a little bit later. So stick around, team. We got a good one for you guys. I'm going to bring up my screen right now. We'll take a look at the swing trades that I got right now, and then we'll take a look into the market, of course. So really quickly, just want to tell you guys.
I'm going to interrupt you.
What's up?
First of all, the haircut looks great. But folks, I just learned something. I just learned something this morning. Mitch informed us that Zunaid copied Mitch. Mitch had the fade first. So how about that? I didn't know that. I thought Zunaid was the haircut prince, but apparently Mitch taught him everything he knows.
Yeah, that's the truth. You know, one of the things is that, you know, the young bucks out there, they definitely look up to the old bucks, the classics out there, as they say. And no worries. The new guns do it well. And I'll say that Zunaid rocks it well, you know. But I got to say, I think I do it better. But, hey, we won't get into all that. Let's keep going, team. Let's get to the market. Let's see what we got out there. Of course, I'm going to take a look at some stocks. I saw AVPT mentioned in the chat there, so that caught my attention. But let's go to stocks that I will be selling out the open is QS. I was going to look for a nice run to 12, but it's starting to slow down a little bit, and we're starting to see maybe some trash stocks turn around. So today I will be looking to maybe even go short on some trash stocks like Carvana, right? I don't believe this company is going to kick it out the water. And so for it to come back from $7 to $29, that was a 327% run. I think this has already been a little bit too far extended. So I'm actually going to be looking to potentially short this through 25 today. We'll look to see if that cuts 25. We'll see what happens there on Carvana. We'll be looking to sell QS. XOM added to the short up there at the 108. We're down there to 104, right back. Let's go. Short that oil trade. You guys know I ain't shy about it. And that black gold out there, well, let it just keep leaking out, because this is the trade that I think will be the best trade of the year. And I'm going to be patient to the gains now as I look for a cut down through the 103s, the 102s, going to the 100. We'll see if XOM can keep going lower. BJ, of course, got up there a little bit yesterday. It was a little bit higher. So I'm looking to see if it takes out yesterday's high, 64.47. We'll look to see if it gets into that gap space. Disney is one that I had. It did make a nice move there on Monday, now pulled back. I don't want it cutting through really Monday's low, 88.91. We're right there. So I have a stop at 88.50s. I'll get out if it does get hit there. Deere is another one that's pulled back. It's actually below my entry when I was up significantly on this position. So now I got to be smart. Will it cut through down there towards the 395? That's where my out is. Of course, I got in there at 401.44. We were just recently at like 410s. So just to put it in perspective, up about 9 points there. Maybe we'll risk 5, but not going to risk more than 5 points, because then that comes into a lower than a 2-to-1 outlook. If I'm looking at profits, it's always important to keep that mathematical advantage in your favor. And then I got here is in the green, but continuing to slow down a little bit. This is one that I'll just continue to the daily chart. I want to see this 9 EMA continue below the price action and continue just to grind higher towards the 1350s. But that's going to do it for my outlook. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and kick it to my man, Ryan. We'll take a look at the S&P 500, or the SPY in our case, because, you know, there's really no point in looking at the S&P 500. But some people look at the SPY, of course, and just do that, and we'll see what happens. What are you seeing today, Ryan, in your charts?
Well, I'm seeing the move that we've kind of, or that I shouldn't say that I've kind of been waiting for and expected. I think the big takeaway from yesterday's session in terms of the broader market was we really were banging on 444 yet again, and we were unable to get through it. So if you take a look at the daily chart here, we have the candle from June 15th that stopped at 444, and then we had the candle from June 30th, July 3rd, and July 5th all stop at 444. Now, today we are having some weakness here in the pre-market. All of the indices are down. As far as smaller trades go, this should actually be great for us. It should be a little bit easier to find relative strength in some of those smaller names to trade. But this is the move that, or this is the direction, I should say, that I've been waiting for in the SPY. I still think that there are more headwinds than tailwinds, and inevitably we resolve lower. I'm not positioned for that. It's worth noting. So I don't have any short instruments on the broader market, nor did I buy volatility. I'm waiting for a move to be confirmed. You can see the last time that we rejected off this line, we came all the way down to 431 and bounced and retested that until we have some confirmation, maybe a break below the 500. I'm not ready to say that, okay, we're going to go to the downside here. One of the other things is that we learned yesterday that there's still 2 more rate hikes anticipated. This is no change from the May meeting minutes last month. So it still looks like more rate hikes are on the table. As far as the swings, I'm going to just kind of go over the swings that I've been talking about recently. We'll go into some of the smaller caps when Nick is done delivering the news blast. First one was IoT. Remember, I have closed this. So I closed this trade on the half day on Monday. I was hoping for a bounce back up to the highs. It really started to feel heavy and roll over. I didn't have very much gains in it. I think I had a full point at the time. I took those gains and moved on. If this stabilizes, especially if this sets a higher low, even amidst the backdrop of a market that's selling off, I'd be interested in trying to swing it again. But we'll see if that materializes. I'd be willing to be a little bit more patient. The other swing was EYPT. I'm still in this. I actually added to this a little bit. This is still pushing up here. It looks like this really wants to take the top off on 9 and then move to double digits. That would be excellent. Still long in eye point, no change there. Nick, I'm going to have you take it over here. I'd be happy to drive with Pro. If you need me to pull up any stocks, I'll just go ahead and pull them up as you're mentioning them. But go ahead with your news brief. After that, we'll go ahead and take a look at what's on the movers tool for potential plays today.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas President Lori Logan made comments about 20 minutes ago, and the highlights are basically she would have been okay with a June rate increase. She says the more Fed rate hikes are likely necessary, as you alluded to the FOMC minutes. She is very concerned as to whether inflation will cool quickly enough. The job market, inflation, both hotter than expected in first half of 2023, and she's skeptical about lagged impact of past Fed rate hikes. We also have the ADP National Employment Report that was released at 8:30 this morning. Private sector employment increased by 497,000 jobs in June. The estimate was for 225,000. That is the biggest monthly increase since December of 2022. Annual pay was up 6.4%. On the back of that, the 2-year yield rises at about 5.084%. That's the highest since 2007. And the 10-year yield back to 4%. That's near the March 9th levels. Alluding to the FOMC minutes, the Fed sees more rate hikes ahead, but at a slower pace, the meeting minutes show. Fed officials at their June meeting decided to hold off on raising interest rates, opting for a pause to assess the impact of the 10 previous hikes. Minutes released Wednesday indicated disagreement among members, with some saying that rates should go higher as inflation remains elevated. Almost all officials noted in September that additional rate increases would be appropriate in 2023. Most officials said additional information valuable for considering stance of policy. Staff sees this headline from the Fed. Remember that FOMC minutes, it is always important to note that these are from members that vote and do not vote. So all of this, that's why you hear most officials. It's always important to point that out, that the Federal Reserve staff sees a mild recession later this year, followed by moderately paced recovery. And the staff saw a possibility of avoiding downturn almost as likely as a mild recession baseline. Now, recession, remember, we're still in that area. Are we in a recession? Are we not? Is it a rolling expansion? Is it a rolling recession? There's still some questions unknown that we're going to leave economists and the NBER to, because I don't want to get in the middle of that debate. And this morning, I found out that Ryan is not on Instagram, but as you probably all know, Meta has officially debuted its Twitter-like messaging app, Threads, which the company is pitching as Instagram's text-based conversation app. I am on Threads. I was able to download it last night. The Threads app is now available to download for free on the Apple and Google Play online store in over 100 companies. It was released last night at about 7 p.m. Eastern time. People will be able to follow the same Threads accounts that they follow on Instagram and reply to other public posts in a way akin to how people use Twitter. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg was actually active on the platform last night. And as of 9 p.m. last night, he said, quote, Threads passed 2 million signups in the first 2 hours. I imagine that more people, of course, now this is from me, I imagine more people downloaded it as of last night, but there's still tons of questions remain. But the most common, Ryan, and traders and people out in the chat that I have seen was when and if will direct messages come to DMing like you can do on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And if you only see threads from the people you follow, that's just the basic, because if you go on Threads right now, you do see the people you follow, but it is just a public thing. You can see people that you don't follow. You can see stuff that you don't want. And so it's going to be, is it going to be similar to Twitter? And everybody was noticing last night is when you go to Threads, like the retweet, the quote retweet, it's basically almost the same, but they changed the variety of order as how Twitter has it. So it'll be one to watch to see who and all the developments coming. But Zuckerberg, I have to say, was very active last night as soon as it was launched. Just basically engaging with the people, basically saying that this is going to be in the long run. This is going to be a good platform. We have a lot of new developments coming in the weeks to come. So this is going to be one to watch. And Meta stock is basically just taken off after this news. It was up again last night. I think it's up again this morning. It's maybe down a little bit. I know it touched 300, but this is going to be one to watch.
This is absolutely up from yesterday's close. It was higher in the pre-market. We backed off a little bit of that strength, but it is absolutely up here this morning.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch this in the coming weeks and months to come to see how this rivals Twitter. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen arrives in Beijing on a mission to find common ground for U.S. and China. Yellen is scheduled to be in Beijing July 6th through the 9th. Yellen will discuss with Chinese officials the importance of responsibly managing their bilateral relationship, communicating directly about areas of concern, and working together to address global challenges. The Secretary of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, known as OPEC, signaled that Influential Producers Alliance is actively open to new members. He would not be drawn into disclosing the names of potential new members at this time. Asked on the requirements to become an OPEC producer, the Secretary General of OPEC said, quote, they have to be a net exporter. Substantially, they have to have similar goals as OPEC. This is all mentioned very clearly in our statute, and I think many countries that I just named actually fit the profile, so work in progress. He alluded to like Mexico and some other countries, but he's not basically disclosing which ones he wants. JetBlue Airways says it will terminate its partnership in the northeastern U.S. with American Airlines after a federal judge ruled the agreement was anti-competitive. American Airlines says it will still appeal the ruling. JetBlue will instead focus on its still to acquire budget carrier Spirit Airlines, a deal that the Justice Department sued to block earlier this year. And within moments ago, the information is reporting Google has delayed the release of a fully custom phone chip until 2025. All right, That's all I got.
Okay, let me go into some small. It looks like we're actually having trouble with the stream, so hopefully Mitch gets back here. I'll see if he can find the link. Looks like you guys found us. So anyway, still working through that. We'll see how everything goes. Let me go ahead and flip over to the movers tool. We do have a couple of things on here. First one is going to be Polestar. You'll notice we're actually higher here. We do have a catalyst. Polestar shares trading higher after the company reported Q2 deliveries of 15,800, which represents a 36% growth year over year. So nice little news there on the deliverables, or on the deliveries, excuse me. Polestar trading up here, high of 439. So 439, 440 going to be the spot. This looks like this is pulling back towards the VWAP here. So Polestar, this might be one of them, this might be one of the names to trade that's going to be in play today. Sorry, my movers list just disappeared on me. Unsure why that took place. I actually know the next stock here. It's going to be CRBU. CRBU. This is Caribou Biosciences. This actually fits into our biotech theme, where stocks that have been running. We do have a catalyst here. Caribou Biosciences shares are trading higher after the company announced a $25 million equity investment from Pfizer. So some really positive news there. You can see CRBU traded all the way up to 575. We backed off that high. We came back into the VWAP. This is what I would really want for a potential trade. I would want for this to come back in towards the VWAP, very much like it did right in here. You can see it even broke beneath it, but that didn't last. And then a move back towards the highs. I'm still going to stay in the camp that trading off the support is probably going to be better. We really haven't had a lot of these range breaks really go yet. Here, movers list is back. Next one here is going to be IXLH. This is Incanix Healthcare. Now, this did pop, got as high as 331, blew all of those gains back. Now, we did have a catalyst here. The Incanix receives ethics approval for bioequivalence, bioavailability, clinical trial for IHL42X, the company's proprietary drug for the treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. So looks like we're getting an ethics approval there. This did pop the stock, but it's bled a lot of the gains back. Really what this has to do for me is this has to show me some strength before we end up trading this. Move back to the VWAP would be great. Maybe we'll be able to capture that. But if we do move back to the VWAP, I'd be really curious as to how it actually acts around that VWAP. Do we move through it, etc.? Mitch, real quick, I'm getting reports that people cannot see the stream. Our viewer count is low. It does not appear that it is live on our Benzinga page. So perhaps you can look into that. Matthew is saying here, I had to go to the pre-market prep video, slide it to the end, and it automatically connected to this video. It was too much work. So looks like we're having some issue with people getting in here. Hopefully you can help us with that.
Done.
Awesome. I got a present for you because you did that. Mitch's favorite stock, Jenny, Genius Sports, is on the list here today. So we'll see if Mitch ends up taking this. I'm
the bag.
We'll see what happens. Now, we do have a pretty big pop here. So that you can see that this initial candle, we went as high as 731. We've really come back in from that. 750 down here. We're hovering right around the VWAP. Catalyst here, Genius Sports shares are trading higher after the company agreed to a multi-year extension of the National Football League partnership. So that's definitely a good PR here for this. That seems really good. I'll let Mitch fill in any other details on Genius. I know he's followed this one closely, but we may have a day trading setup here, especially depending on volume flow around the VWAP. KZIA, this is another one here that had a catalyst. We popped as high as 164. We've really kind of come back there. What I'd like to see here is a move back towards the VWAP and perhaps a VWAP reclaim. And then, of course, given the market and what's going on here, we can also take a look at some of these ETFs like SOXS, SQQQ. And if we get a bounce back in the market today, maybe we play some of those long instruments. The other thing that I wanted to mention here before I turn it back over to Mitch and we open this market, Bitcoin was up despite the rest of the market being down. You can see here that Mara and Riot are responding. We'll see if we get trades from those. But that's all I got for you, folks.
Yeah, sorry about the issue there for the YouTube issues. They're all fixed now. It should be all perfect.
I see our viewer count going up. I see
sometimes we make some streams a little earlier, and then I think this one was listed as unlisted. So unless you had the link or you were a part of pre-market prep, you probably had a little bit of issue. But you guys got in now. I see the users jump in there. We got over 300 of you guys. So smash the like. Let's see if we can get 200 before the bell. All right, guys, so I will be watching. Right now, I did see AMD jump before the open. We'll see what happens with that. Here we go. But let's get right towards the open here. Going to be watching Carvana out the gate here to see if I do get short on Carvana. I would like it to pop up there towards maybe 26 and then turn around. But we'll see if it's just a flush right out the gates through 25. All right, let's get after it, team. Smash the like, and I will, of course, be bringing up my Moo screen here. I already got it ready to go. And I need to take some trades, baby. I need to get back into the green. I've been battling here in the Moo account. You guys see it, the little battle there. I need to bounce back today. So let's get after it, team. Let's see what happens today. Stock heat map starting out all kind of ugly red there. We'll look to see if we see some really downside action. Carvana already dropping through 25.16. We'll look to see if it keeps going here, but it is dropping fast here.
Is good news bad news again? Are we back to that market?
That's the hard part there. The big thing there is all about, I don't think the numbers had necessarily to do so. This is all also more based on just kind of tech stocks that have been kind of on the struggle, right? Adobe giving me an alert there. So I want to take a look at Adobe pulling back through the 480s. Look to see if this keeps going down, but it is getting a little bit of a pullback. We'll see if it cracks a 9 EMA and comes down today. NVIDIA starting off the gates here to the downside. We'll look to see if we see a recovery there. Q's over getting a little bit of a bounce now after a hard bottoming around 366.18. I'll round that just to 366, like just to be a little bit on the safe side for any wicks. But through 366 downside through the Qs, I'll look for some more downside in the market. But we are getting a little bounce right now. We'll see if it gets quickly hit.
Watching CRBU here as we continue to trade up, trying a little bit of this. Reduced position size as I'm not on my main computer. My buy was 558. We're trading higher here. CRBU, here we go. Nice little pop there on CRBU. Let's see if we can get going here. 585, your high here. We'll see if the CRBU can keep pushing. They brought in a bid there, so CRBU trading back up here. Just want to make sure. I'm not going to let this trade go red on me, so I will stop out if I have to, but it looks like this is trying to go a little bit higher here. We'll see.
All right, Q's trying to pop there. We'll see if it does get the pop or not.
CRBU back up, right back up to that high. A little bit of size there at 585. If that can go over, let's see. Ready to take these gains here, though. Just get some green on the screen early on here. Feeling a little heavy. Going to take this off and wait for a re-entry on CRBU. Nice little scalp out of the gate here. As soon as I sold, it will probably go higher. So if that's the case, you're welcome for all of you. But nice little gain to start the day here. CRBU. Let's take a look next. Looks like Smoke Tuna, you're on Jenny. Let's check. Genius Sports. I'm just going to call this Mitch's baby. Is that okay, Mitch? Looks like we are running right out of the gate here. Mitch doesn't like that.
If this was a baby, this would be the forgotten baby that's in the trunk.
Wow. Wow. I did not think we were going to hear that today. Oh my God. By the way, CRBU did break that high. We went as high as 595 at a high print here.
Oh man.
So CRBU, some strong out of the gate. Smoke Tuna saying those first pops are mostly fakes. Smoke Tuna, I am so glad somebody else recognized that besides me. This is one of the reasons why you see me selling some of those trades that work really early on. Smoke Tuna is absolutely right. A lot of these come back in. Now, yes, some of them run like crazy, and if that's the case, that's all right. A lot of these come back in. We broke above 615 year high on CRBU, by the way. Sorry, I have Jeannie up here managing multiple computers. This was a nice trade out of the gate here. So be sure to pay yourself on the way up. If any of you took this place, be sure that you take gains on the way up, because sometimes this will just get totally sold down. So CRBU, definitely strong. Keep this on watch. If you didn't take it today, we might get another setup here.
Carvana straight down out the gates here. I haven't gotten a chance to even come in it. I normally don't just short out the gates. So Carvana, nasty move to the downside here, all firm to the downside. I'm looking for that Carvana short, a firm already kind of giving up there, really getting hit. I'm looking for Upstart also to come back to the VWAP. Can these come back to the VWAP? And maybe I'll take a shot. All right, team, let's get after it. What you guys got out there? You guys let me know.
Adiba, awesome. You took CRBU out of the gate here and you booked your gains. That's exactly what we want to hear. CRBU pulling back off those highs now. Excellent trade right out of the gate. Great job.
Nick, if you by any chance see stocks moving or things like that, you can always mention it. Feel free.
Oh, yeah.
All right, my friend. You're here. Oh, live, baby.
ELV.
I ain't even taking you off screen anymore. You're here to stay, my friend. Nice little pop here in Carvana here towards 2540s. I want to see a rejection there, and I can start getting short. We'll see what happens. I got a risk right off of the top of their 2550s, but I can start getting in here.
Becca, I tried to pull up ELVA. It did not look like a ticker. Can I get a ticker check there?
All right, short a little bit here of some Carvana. Want to add a little bit, but just got to be smart here.
IXLH. I'm going to screw that ticker up, guys. I apologize in advance. IXLH here. Decent pop right out of the open here. We'll see if this ends up trading back to VWAP. This one a little bit risky. I'd be careful if you trade this one.
All right, nice rejection there from the 25.40 level. So I'm looking for 25.25s to get short there. I have 25.23. Anything above my entry now, I can start adding and looking for this to come right back down.
Looks like Mullen is popping. I know this seems to be a popular stock for some reason. I guess we did have a decent move yesterday, 11 cents to 17 cents, 6-cent move, but over 50%. Mullen here up 76%. Everything about this still holds true. Just be very, very careful with this. I don't trust this at all, but I know a lot of you penny traders are trading it.
All right, just got another ad there on Carvana, and I got about 200 shares at 27s.
Say, take a look at Keurig Dr. Pepper. Morgan Stanley today upgrade shares to overweight from equal weight with a price target of $36. In that note, basically saying, more simply, we don't pretend to have complete visibility in coffee, but with some of the weakness tied more to factors that don't drive long-term value and clear path of continued upside in U.S. refreshment beverages, KDP's valuation looks compelling here after outsized stock underperformance. They also added that a simple drop-off from post-COVID benefits.
Okay, so Keurig here up 1.39% on that. Actually, I had a cup of Keurig coffee this morning, which I normally don't have. This actually might break out here. Looking at the daily chart here, we take out this 32.30, 32.50 area. Maybe we do make a little bit bigger move to the upside on Keurig. KDP.
And down goes Frazier, they say. And there goes Carvana. Let's go, baby. Crack that 25. Want to get some good money on this right now, up about $60 from the position from 25.27. Wanted to flush through that 24.70, going to 24.50. That's the next wall that I could see there. And how do I find that? Well, I just use my trusty Moo platform, right? And so what do I see? The wall right there, about 24.50s. There's some shares waiting there. I think we're going to get a nice little move towards that. That's what I'm looking for. We'll see if we get the whoosh. All right, looking around also, let's go to the Explore tab here and use Moo to see what's up, what's down. Best performing Tesla suppliers, thermal coal, gambling, apparel retail, auto parts getting a nice little lift today. Let's go to the stock heat map. And what do you see? A sea of red. Will this turn around? Be careful out there. We'll find out.
And that's one of the things we want to watch for, right, Mitch? We want to watch for that reversal. Normally get that at about 10:30 Eastern, 10:45. We'll see if we end up getting that same reversal here today.
All right. Had a limit to add there at 28 to add another 100 shares on Carvana. It didn't hit and went to 25. It didn't even get close there. So looking to maybe even add here for the takedown.
By the way, just in case anyone's interested, interrupt me if you have a trade or anything. But catalyst time. This morning, I did have a Celsius, the Arctic Vibe, the sparkling.
Oh, I like that one. I haven't had that one.
This was actually delicious. 0 calories. Claims to increase your metabolism and burn body fat. No artificial sweeteners. Really, really a delicious drink. I had it after my coffee this morning. So maybe that's a catalyst in Cell H.
That's what I like to hear.
That one is great with vodka. Bex, that might be something I try later today. Bex, always looking out for the good mixers there. I absolutely love that.
That's a dude. All right, we'll see if we get that flush there through the 24.90s there. I'm up a decent amount in Carvana, but I'm keeping an eye out for a quick, rapid up move. You got to be careful with that.
Guys, CRBU continuing its next leg up here. So you can see what we did is we pulled back towards the VWAP, did not quite get there. The buying volume expanded. This is one of the triggers that we're always looking for. This pushed to new highs. Now, one of the things to keep in mind here is we've seen some of these stocks that have maintained their strength through a majority of the session or at least the morning. They actually make this type of stair-step formation, right? So you get a push to new highs there. Sometimes this sucks in buyers. I've been there trying to play the breakout only to get the stock pulled back. I end up taking a loss and then the stock goes. This is part of the reason why I'm saying it might be better to actually trade these on pullbacks, especially if you can get a pullback to some type of support that's clearly defined. In the case of CRBU here today, we didn't quite make the VWAP, so I can see why this is a little bit more difficult, but be mindful of this pattern. We might see this repeat several times here today. Crow saying he's in BTAI. So this is BioXL Therapeutics. This is a $9 stock here. We were much higher in the pre-market. In fact, we were as high as 14 and change here. We sold out of the open. It looks like it's trying to bounce here. So Crow playing that bounce play that I just talked about. That is awesome.
All right, I got a little bit more now, 250 from 25.18s. Don't want to see it get back above 25.30s. So that's going to be the area where I'll get out if I need to.
No, Kyle, sucralose is in here. And I know sucralose is actually really not good for you. That unfortunately is in here. It's one of the last ingredients on the list. So I guess that one is in here. Now I will say I don't drink these very often, but anyway.
It's my preferred choice for my Sunday baseball league when I want to just smash some home runs.
Celsius?
Yeah. Dude, use it for golf. It's actually a pretty good one. Nice little amount of focus on it. All right, here's Carvana through 29. Oh, if it gets through that's 25, I'm going to start like trying to tackle this, guys. There it goes. Nice move down there. Any move back above 25s, I'm going to add a little bit more. Looking to add some here. 25.03, something like that. I have a short. Add some there. I want to see this just take down now. There you go. It went right back to that 25.03. Come on, get me. Come get me.
CRBU pushing to new highs here again. So you see we're getting a little bit of those yanks. Those seem to be buyable, at least so far.
All right, looking for this Carvana takedown now. It shouldn't really come back even back to my entry now. Now I got to be smart. Tried to get a little bit of an ad there. Didn't get the ad. Canceling that because it just went right to my number. Should have filled there.
Take a look at Sweet Green. Bank of America upgrades, says automation can boost the salad stock by 30%. They put a price target of 17 from 9, which is implying about a 30% upside from here. In the note, they said sustained year-over-year visits growth suggests mobility continues to improve and same-store sales growth can maintain momentum, removing a key overhang on the stock.
Sweet Green up 11% here today on that.
I guess robots are making our salad. I guess that's the new way of life.
Not mine. I make my own.
You know it, my friends. You know it.
That just reminds me of that commercial of the woman that's at the ball game trying to sell hot dogs, and she tells people she's invested in robotics, and the robot is serving hot dogs. And that commercial is so bad and cheesy, it makes me cringe every time I watch it.
I know how that can be, man.
By the way, Jenny here, Mitch's favorite stock, yanked back below the VWAP and then recovered to the VWAP, currently right around there. This one definitely a little bit more difficult to trade. Maybe we do make another push back up towards that intraday high, snap that, and then attack the pre-market high. That would be what I would be looking for here, but I don't trust this yet.
I'm not even allowed to look at that stock.
Not even Mitch's broker blocks it, so he can't even pull it up. Take that.
I've even moved it to a broker I don't even use.
You'll show that stock, Mitch.
Oh, there it goes. There goes Carvana. Can I get the takedown? Can I finally get it? You guys know I've been trying to get this. Let's go. Let's go, Carvana. Get through. Get to the chopper. It doesn't want to go, guys. It doesn't want to go. I get this last little cut through. No recovery. Come on. Reject those 25s. Got to be careful here. Keep it smart, guys. Keep it smart. All right, let's go to the Qs. Let's see if the Qs are recovering. And wouldn't you see it? There you go, 945. Who talks about that, Ryan?
I'm sorry, I was busy shit talking for the golf outing.
Well, 945, so get ready, man. Looks like we're seeing a little bit of some action here, a little bit of a turn, maybe.
Are we getting a reversal?
At least starting to try it, right? We'll see if it gets the takedown on Carvana, and I just got to keep it close, man. Keep it close.
I was going to say, we just got some data that crossed the wire 945.
Yeah, you know how it comes in. Oil has some news coming soon, right, Nick?
Yeah, you got the services PMI 54.4 versus the 54.1 estimate. And we also had the global composite PMI 53.2 versus the 53 estimate. Both of those numbers looking a little hot.
Yeah,
higher for longer.
Yes, sir, Berlin. We are doing a company golf outing for this quarterly meeting. And just to let you guys all know, my team is going to dominate. We are going to take the other teams and we are going to put them in the hurt locker, and we're going to win this thing. So
who's on your team, Ryan? Or can you not disclose?
I can disclose it. It is me, Andrew Weiss, Jake Crandall, and James Santangelo. I won't give out the other teams. I'll let them talk about it, but you best believe we're going to win this. We're going to break 70. My group's shooting to break 70s. We're going to shoot a 69. Nice.
All right, that's what I like to hear, my friend. All right, and we do get to cut down here or not.
Born, really quickly, I am still pushing the team here for a trading event that is going to have golf attached to that for those that want to play. Now that I'm in the office here, I'm definitely going to try to make more of a push for that. You guys can always help by reaching out to the leadership team and telling them that you really want this. I know a number of you already have. We appreciate it, but we did not forget about that, and I am still working on that for you. All right, Jenny, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just watching it. I'm watching it here. Still haven't taken profits. Could just run to the profits here and just take like, 40, 50 bucks. But I'm looking for a little bit of a bigger win here on Carvana. Just recovering. Be careful out there. Qs are what to watch here. Seeing stocks all kind of getting a little bit of recovery. Apple back above VWAP. Some stocks like that. So just be careful. Tesla's a little weak today. That's what I see, a little weaker, but we can always get a little bit of a squeeze. Be careful out there. Firm and Carvana Affirm and Upstart are pretty getting hit hard. So I'm wondering if Carvana is going to take the hit or not, because it's battling here. So what I did there is I set the stop there towards like 28s.
Which stream are you?
Have like an ad if it cuts.
Is it this one?
No, this is my main chart here on TC there. So there's the Carvana there. There's just got hit there on the squeeze. So out there with like 30 bucks hit, but man, the squeeze was hard there. Look at that squeeze, 25.50 real quick. So squeeze there shows me right there. We're just not ready to flush through that. And the Qs could be recovering here. So we'll see what happens there. But Upstart was good. Carvana had like a little gain there that I could have just taken, about 60 bucks. So I lost about 30 bucks there. I had about 60, 70 bucks at one point. And I was looking for the flush down, and it looked like we were going to get it here in the 24.85, but big reversal there, back up to the upside. That's just how it is, man. They just don't want to let them go, man. They don't want to let them go.
Great call here. Let me get back in there. Great call here. Oops, what is going on?
That was me.
Okay. Smoke Tuna, you had called Perry earlier while Mitch was talking. It was right in here. So Perry actually broke out of this sideways formation here. Let's see if this can actually push up 33.90, your high print of the pre-market. But good call here, Smoke Tuna. Nice identification of this. Really like the big volume stick here. That was the biggest of the day. We'll see if Perry keeps pushing. You folks are on it. You folks are not letting us down yet again. Absolutely love this community. BTAI hanging in here. We'll see if that can move above 10 and get rolling. EYPT, that swing that I'm in, is pulling back here. I would actually consider adding if we get to a 750 level. We're currently at about $8, just north of that. Seeing a lot of penny plays on my relative volume scanner. I know you guys are all talking about Mullen, but I'm going to stay away from that. Teva just bounced back up to its VWAP. KDP, Nick gave us that news drop. KDP going for those highs. We talked about that. Maybe a move off the VWAP. Here we go on KDP.
Take a look at Ford. Ford's U.S. sales jumped 9.9% on big gains for its F-Series trucks. Second quarter sales increased 9.9% from a year earlier, spurred by significant sales gains of its F-Series trucks. They reported sales of 531,662 vehicles from April through June, up from a subdued results a year ago. EV sales during the second quarter declined about 3%, we'll call it 2.8%, to 14,843 vehicles as supplies of the MASH E were short. Stock is relatively, I think, lower on this news, but overall truck sales, a key driver of the company's profits, were up 23% in the first half of the year from the same period in 2022. It's going to be very interesting when they report earnings. I don't think we have a date for them yet. What they see on the supply chain issues, what they see on costs, what they see on production. We'll have to watch those.
The one thing that we've been talking about Ford is this parallel channel that it's been in for a long time. This has actually been a great channel to trade. As this comes in towards 11, you can actually buy it and sell it as it moves up towards 1475. The interesting thing out of this recent move is that we actually touched the top of that channel, came in a little bit, and then broke out of that channel. So I know for some of you that are long-term holders, remember, I'm on record of saying Ford is going to be your EV leader. Forget Tesla, Lucid, Polestar. They're not going to do it. It's going to be Ford. It's going to take years, but it's going to be Ford. The Mach-E and the electric F-150 are going to be the primary drivers there. Really, the question for the Ford traders is this a breakout? Do we really test 1675 next and maybe make another move towards 20 here, or do we pull back into this parallel channel? So far, the safe trade, if you will, has been buying near the support and then selling near the resistance. I know Ford has a lot of long-term investors in it. We'll see if this move continues here. CRBU still having a monster day, so definitely hooked one out of the gate here. Now, we did get some pullbacks on CRBU, but what I really want to see for another setup for a potential move here is going to be a bigger flush that's going to shake out some of those weak hands. If we flush down to VWAP and we get it to hold there or trade sideways there, giddy up. That'd be great entry for another possible move if that holds. We'll see if that ends up being the case. The pullbacks that we've got have not necessarily been big enough to shake out all those weekends. I still think there's another pull coming.
All right, guys. Looks like Carvana definitely give me a little bit of the rope-a-dope there, wicking me out. I think what it was a big shorter came in there and shorted big. And so that actually caused the stock to pop on me and squeeze me out of it. But look at the reaction right after it. Look at that Carvana reaction after it, man. This is going to get really frustrating because I don't think it's going to even come back for me. So now I'd have to chase it down. And so that's just really frustrating because a bigger trader kind of caused me to get squeezed out on this little pop. But I think it was a bigger shorter trying to get in off of the 15-minute because you could see it went to right there towards the resistance and then just got hit. Look at the reaction now, 2430s, guys. Damn, man, that's a little frustrating, yo. That should have been a big win for me. Now just getting flushed out. That's how the bigger boys can you up. That's the damn truth, man.
I'm laughing at two separate things right now, but they happened at the same time, so it's very convenient for me.
It's a little frustrating one, man. And the Q's just wiping out there. And I have no play on the SQQQs going there. So it's kind of just hard. I'm going to be looking for pullbacks on that to see if I can get a little bit of a play there. But it's already late for that play too, because look where the SQQQs were yesterday, 1880s. We're at 1960s now. So that's also a chase. So Carvana go in there about from 25 40s down to 24 40s. In one big 5-minute candle.
Oh, RGTI, Rigetti. This was actually on the scanner recently. We actually had a decent day. This had a good day yesterday, too. We were looking at this one. Nice move here off Rigetti. Big pullback. Was this? No, it wasn't really a clear cut level. Big pullback and a nice bounce. A 20-cent bounce on Rigetti here off the bottom.
Look at Upstart, guys. Upstart out the gates. Look at this flush down. Affirm, flush down. So there you guys see it. Had the good outlook. Just didn't execute here out the gates. Not a good job by me, guys. A little frustrating because when you have the right outlook, you just got to execute on the plan. And then Carvana squeezing me out, but the other ones just completely crumbled. Upstart out the gate from 37.50s down there to 35. That would have been a killer one too. AI Royal Flush too. Yeah, I mean.
The Royal Flush. The Royal Flush. Let's see. AI.
These are stocks that I definitely could have come after.
So one of the things that we've talked about here with AI is that there's definitely going to be some air let out of this move. It's important when we see days like this where the stock's down nearly 9%, it's important to put this in perspective. We are pulling back from the high. This recent bounce, I would say we've retraced about 50% of the move off the lows. So really, I don't think the accelerated sell-off is likely to happen until this 31.75-ish area snaps to the downside. To me, there's more air in here, and you're likely to see a bigger sell-off. This pullback here, I guess the concerning thing here is that we broke yesterday's low. But again, keep in perspective where this stock is coming from. An 8.5% move down, not the death blow to this, at least not yet.
US also, I thought I would sell off there, and I did take the profits and run there, and look at QS there coming down also. So similar outlook there. The kind of the zombie stocks coming right back down. I'm not getting smacked at least today, but I'm just so frustrated because I had such a good outlook to make good money here and just getting crumbled. Because why? Because I'm not in plays and things are going down and things are going up and on the inverse side, and I'm in nothing. That's a little frustrating. You know, Carvana's down 5%, down 3.4, 3% now from the open, and it might not even come back to 2490s now. So it could just come flushing down all day long. I could see the next support being down there towards like 2360s. It could be down to 23s today. So I'm missing out on like a $2 trade here that I was looking to get. So we'll see what happens on this one if it does come back, but probably just a big miss now. XOM at least going lower. That helps me out in the swing trade sides of things. XOM just getting crushed there. 104s now. And this looks really good for me on the daily. Look at this look. This looks perfect.
Yeah, that was a great short entry there, Mitch.
Yeah, dude. Literally, I drew this before it happened. Look, created there on what? This was created, it clearly says there, it was created on June 29th, right? And so is that June 29th? No, that day is July 3rd. So on the 29th, I looked at, all right, we're going to look to see a little bit of a run there. And this was on this Thursday. A little run there towards 108.50s, rejection off of that level to see it come right back down. It went to 108.46. Sorry, team. 4 cents off.
Yeah, Ron, it looks like Ron's saying, has anyone looked at the heat map? We'll have Mitch show it here in a sec. It's all red. Ron,
it's not a heat map.
It looks like the market is bleeding.
It's not a heat map when it looks like that, man. It's a cold map. Let's call it the cold map because everything's cold, cold, cold. Genie pop. Ooh, genie pop for sure. I'm not allowed to trade it. What are you doing, Smoke Tuna? Some bags.
Hey guys, we're getting some more economic data. This time it's the JOLTS for May. It came in at 9.824 million versus 10.10 million. Previous was for 9.935 million. So that's actually some good news. Job openings actually coming down.
Real quick, live look at the heat map right here. That's what you have here, folks. It is just straight up red here today.
Oh man, and it just gets me frustrated because you guys know I'm that big bear. I love to come out on days like this and kill it. And I was thinking shorts, looking for the really nice one. Just got Carvana, man. That little pop, man. And it was a frustrating one because if you had any shorts, you just got stopped out too. It wicked all the way up there to 25.68. What you got, Ryan?
I got a great call here from Chatter Dave saying CRBU is flagging for the next leg. Dave, I completely agree. What I'd watch here, a break of 633 or 630 to the downside, you probably break down from this move. If this continues to flag and hold, the top side here is going to be what's the top high of this candle? 667, your high. On CRBU, we'll see if that flags and breaks here. That's a good setup there. Yes, sir, Jesse. At the headquarters, let's go is right. Good to see you this morning, my man. I love this from Alexa right here. Money Mitch, it's part of the deal. We all lose. Let's get back to making money, champ. Alexa, that is the exact attitude that we need.
I didn't really lose, though. That's the key there. It's not that I lost there, and it's not about the loss. The loss is pointless to me, man. It's about execution of plan, attacks. So just got screwed by a bigger trader. Can't do nothing about it now.
Take a look at Textron. Citi says buy this aircraft, Textron, for more than 30% upside. Price target of 90 implies shares rallying about 34% over the next 12 months. In a note released Wednesday, they say we are constructive on revenue and earnings visibility given recent backlog growth, particularly in the company's aviation and Bell segments. To be sure, he said that Textron's industrial segment does not have much connective tissue across its various assets, which includes automotive, aerospace, and leisure. Shares are down more than like 5%, lagging the S&P 500's 15.8. Ticker. TXT.
All right. For a live trading show, we always need the tickers. You want to give us
ticker
the name of the company? Fine. Ticker first.
Ticker first. That's the rule here.
And when were you going to tell me that? Today?
Well, we all learn on the fly, Nick.
Hey,
we all learn on the fly, baby.
Learning on the job, and you're just as much of a pro at that as the rest of us, my friend.
Oh, smoked tuna. I'm not allowed to watch Genie. You guys look at Genie.
Hey, smoked tuna doesn't have those restrictions. Smoked tuna sees Genie setting up. Smoked tuna is going to call Genie.
You get that, smoked tuna. You get that.
By the way, Genie, smoked tuna, really good eye here. It looks like this is trying to break out of this consolidation area. We shall see if that ends up working.
All right, and you guys can see here from Mumu the advanced decliners here, and this is very important. It's always looking at this sector here. You can just go to the Explore tab on the left-hand side. You hit that, you see advanced decliners here. You can see how much decliners we have and how much advances we have. There's 6,755 stocks on the downside, and you've added all that up. It's actually declining 8,124 versus advancers at 1,318. And that just goes to show you what type of day we're having. Meta. Will this reject VWAP and come right back down? I know a lot of people are thinking Threads, the trade to the upside. What about the trade to the downside today on Meta? What you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Meta, so a reversal off that move might be in play here. Let me
sell the news, buy the rumors, sell the news kind of thing. We'll see.
There we go.
There you go. No worries. Yeah, we got to do it full screen on that one. It's an extra camera, but you're seeing stocks go down there. We'll see if they do take a big hit here. Tesla down to 273s. Just seems like a day where I'm just missing it, man. That's what it's going to be.
By the way, CRBU, remember real quick, on CRBU, Dave gave us a potential setup there, flagging for its next move. We're trying here. It looks like it did actually break above that. We're trying to go here on CRBU. A little bit of size right at 659 there.
All right, finally starting to see a little bit of some comeback in the market. We'll see if it actually makes a little bit of a bounce, or does it just keep flushing all damn day?
SPY still at the lows here.
We got a short maybe of JPM here.
Let's roll through the list here. Oh, look, Mullins sold off and is below open.
All right, shorting a little bit of JPM here. Just got a little bit there at the 48s, but looking for a little bit more on a pullback to add into this. See if it keeps going lower. There's 42s already. You can see just going back down to 142 and a little bit lower there. And this is short for the banks, but another way to look at this is maybe an FAZ trade, right? Let's see FAZ is going higher, and you do see it going higher through that 1954, did a VWAP bounce. I see banks getting hit today. Goldman Sachs getting hit there, Bank of America, the KRE. So looks like that's like a little bit of a play that we could be looking at here. Let's see if the SPY just comes right back down and keeps getting hit, and the Qs get hit a little bit further down here. I'm looking for some types of plays that are near VWAP. So if you guys see any plays by VWAP, let me know out there.
Okay, CRBU might be trying to break out here. We'll see.
Take a look at ticker. I'm going to do this right here. SPG, Simon Property Group.
Can you pull that up, Mitch? We got your screen up.
I got you, my friend. I'll pull it up here. Just give me 1 second here. SPG, you got it. Go ahead.
This comes from Wolf Research. They upgrade to outperform from peer perform. Price target of 127 implies about a 7.4% upside, including dividends. Wolf sees a return about 15%, and they expect internal growth to be relatively stable as share is taken from closing malls. In addition, the company is a cash engine at just 70% AFFO payout ratio, which we assume will be used to fund external growth, particularly buybacks.
All right, there you guys see JPM coming right back down. SPG news coming in. Another bomb from Nick Brown. JPM now down to 142.19s. Can I get it through that 142 spot? I'll take a lot of profit there. We'll see if this can keep coming down. The banks taking a little bit of a hit here. All right, let's get after it, team. What are you guys looking at? Raz said MDLZ, Mondelez. That doesn't look too bad. I'll take a look at that in 1 second here. I'm thinking about taking some profits. So it's one of those days where we might get a little bit of a mixed bag now. I'm looking to see if we get the takedown, but definitely don't want this coming all the way back to my entry. Already bouncing a little bit here. Going to see if it rejects the support off the 1 minute, which is around the 37.
Jeannie, here, I'll go to that. You're not going to have much luck with Mitch there, Smoke Tuna, but I'll take care of you here. Jeannie curling back up off that VWAP. Looks like this is making a run towards the intraday high. I've got that spot at 687, your high print for the day. So that would be something to watch here. It looks like we're kind of drifting up towards that.
All right, let's see if I can get this to come right back down here on JPM. There's a nice little rejection. Let's see if it rejects again off that 37.
CRBU, by the way, we talked about that one here, and that flag looks like that is actually trying to break down here on CRBU. One thing to really quickly mention, let me go ahead and actually get this pulled up here. There we go. One thing to mention here, this is the bottom of that range that we were looking at. Now, so far it's held it and it tried to bounce. This is going to be the decision point, 632, maybe even 630. One thing that's worth noting, Dave gave us a spot earlier. Dave told us about the flag here. Please keep in mind, Dave alerted us to his trade earlier. Dave's in this from lower. So even if this breaks, he's still not going to take an L on that trade. Important to remember that here, although it is holding that lower end of the channel that we discussed, and it looks like it's trying to bounce here. So this trade not over yet.
All right, want to see if JPM can go lower here. Just put an ad for a stop there through 142.30s. We'll add there on the prop and try to keep it going here. 142.48 is my average right now, and don't want it back above VWAP here.
So are you? I'm sorry. Did you said this probably? Are you short this? Are you?
Yes,
is
short.
This a new short here.
142.48. So
CRBU continuing to bounce here off that level that we just talked about.
See what happens here.
Beck says I'm taking one for the team.
There you go.
Did I? I don't know what you're referencing, but I'm
regardless. He said he's taking it for the team.
I mean, I'm all about the team, Mitch. You can vouch for that.
That's what it's all about, man.
Nick, I mean, when you needed the link to this stream here this morning, who did you go to?
Ryan.
And who helped you?
There you go. The team, baby.
Ryan. Team, baby. Team, baby. We can do more together as a team. And that goes for the chat community and the BZ teammates.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Team.
I was going to say on banks, Bank of America announced yesterday after the close, they plan to boost quarterly dividend 9% from 22 cents to 24 cents.
What I think is also leading this downside move is the KRE coming down, right? And then the market coming down. And
folks,
KRE doesn't look pretty.
We got a trade here. Dave, massive shout out. Oh, that was in regards to looking up Genie Fortuna. Gotcha, Bex. Yep. Gotcha. So real quick here, I'm going to give a round of applause here to Dave. Dave, you're calling this early, which when you're in a group here, that is the most helpful for everybody else. Calling it early. You called it while it was flagging here. It has completely obeyed that flag. Remember the level that we talked about, the 631, 630 level for breakdown. It sold off to that, but it never broke down for that. Look at this move here. Great push up. It looks like 689 going to be your high print there. Got that volume expansion candle that we're looking for every time here. Great move on CRBU. Dave, I know you're doing well out there. Congrats and a great call. Excuse me.
Great call indeed, my friend.
Dave getting it done. Absolutely love it.
Get it, man. Get it.
Folks, I'm going to run to the washroom real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. Let's see if the SPY is going to start climbing back here. Or are we just going to continue to leak on the day? SPY starting to come back there, 437.80s. So keeping an eye on it to see if it's going to come back into the 438s here. Or do we get continued leaking here? XOM, let's take a look at oil. Oil down there to 104.30s now. Starting to get some really nice profits in the swing. I did take some profits today on certain stocks, so just keep an eye out on that. We'll see what happens. Beer now starting to get deeper into the red, so I got to keep an eye on that today. Pull up my chart here. Genie wants to go to 7. Smoked tuna. I don't even want to tell you where I need Genie to go to. All right. We'll see if I get the squeeze on me on JPM. It's right there. So.
Mitch, what sector are you going to be watching for earnings season this year, or for Q2 at least? Are you going to be watching the banks, the bank sector? Are you going to be watching the travel sector? What sector stands out to you the most?
Well, it's going to be all about the bigger boys, Microsoft, Google. How does AI show up at the bottom line, right? Will that make the bubble go poof, right? One of the things that I think about, right, is that you know what the funny part is, Nick? I even asked GPT this question, and I think it's an important question. So I'm actually going to be able to share the link. I'm trying to get you guys the link here. So you guys can even take a look at this if you guys wanted. But yeah, it's important. I asked, like, what brought the .com era to an end of the stock market, right? What was it that really kind of turned things around? And then, of course, it was turning around. It started with reporting disappointing earnings, or maybe even going bankrupt, and investors' sentiment quickly turned negative. So that's what can turn the stocks around, right? Is if we really start seeing this decline come in really quickly. And there you guys see it back down there to 30s. So I'm going to actually thinking about adding right now here on JPM and going for the swing. We'll see what happens. Big thing for me is I want to see the market start to take another red turn here. It went to 438s, rejected it. Can it come right back down and crack 437.47 on the SPY? I'll show you guys that outlook right now. Let me pull down the TC chart, and that's the SPY right there on the 5-minute. We'll look to see if it takes the next candle through those lows. That's what I'm looking to see for the JPM trade to work.
All right, guys, sorry about the delay there. Just wanted to call this out because this is probably one of the better trades here of the morning. Dave saying took half off here on CRBU. So booking gains. Dave, you're doing exactly what I try to remind people to do all the time. Pay yourself on the way up. Love that you took the approach of selling partial so that if it continues to run, you'll still have exposure to that. Awesome trade here this morning.
All right, pinkies up, guys. I took a little bit more of an ad there. Got 142.45. We'll see if we get the hit.
Leo calling out IXLH. This was off the list here this morning. Great shout here. We're getting the expanding volume that we want. Notice that the stock actually drifted lower before that expanding volume came in here. Now we're pushing. We're getting some topside wicks here. So I would say that if you're in this or if you're trading this, a break of that upside wick, don't be afraid to take some of those gains. Pay yourself on the way up. Here we are right at the spot on IXLH. I'm going to be late to this, I think. IXHL, excuse me. I also screwed up the ticker. Good Lord. Trying to go a little higher here, it looks like. I'm actually going to try some right here. 258, looking for a break of that high. I have 262 as the high print. That's what we need to snap here. See if we can get it in IXHL. Right at that 262 spot. This could flush, and if it does, I'll be out. I'll just take a smaller loss here. Let's see if we push above here. Volume looks good. There looks like there's a seller that's getting hit there. Coming back in a little bit.
All right, hands on the trigger to start taking some profits if the SPY gets back above that 438s. That's a good first move there. 437.80s now showing up on the SPY. Can we come down through that back to 437.40s? There's JPM starting to come down. Tesla's at VWAP. Not my VWAP, but maybe 275. Nice rejection there. There's JPM now in the 20s here. I got to pay myself a little bit here. All right, pay myself a little bit here. And the big reason why is that at the end of the day, I was in the red. So now this puts me back into the green. Now I still have the 200 shares from the 45, and I can let the trade try to work there.
Oh, big seller came in and IXHL. I'm actually still in it because I have such a small position. I was actually looking to add here. They're trying to buy it back up. Let's see if we get a bounce at VWAP. This is why I didn't stop out right here. But
Carvana came back to VWAP and rejected. Keep it going, Ryan. You got this, big bang.
Nope. It's selling off more here. I'm going to have to stop out of this. Again, one of the reasons when I take some of these high risk trades, especially ones that are up near the top, have to reduce position size. If I was in this in bigger position, I'd be furious right now as it just sold off since I bought it. The other thing that they're doing here on IXLH is it appears as if they're hiding some of the size. It just says that there's 1 share or 100 shares available, but there's way more than that, and that's pushing the price down here. See if it settles here. One more crack down. This actually represents the intraday low from the last pull down, 225, that spot. We'll see if that breaks here. This is looking pretty weak. Oh, yuck. What a pullback. Bought it right at the wrong spot. Trying to bounce here. We'll see.
SPY right back there to 437.60s. We'll see if it takes out the lows here. Upstart is one that I'm looking at potentially a short right here, but it's going to be a hard one. I have to be really quick if I do take it. Big thing is the bid is a little bit off here.
God. I'm sorry, folks. This was not a good trade here on IXLH. At this point, we're just trying to manage it. Again, smaller position size, so not really hurting me, but entry was poor there. Should have known, should have waited for the actual VWAP touch. I'd only be down a couple of cents if that was the case. We'll see if it recovers here and moves back through VWAP. If not, we'll just cut this. Again, I have a little bit more flexibility because of the reduced position size. But this is showing weakness. Yeah, Smoke Tuna, you have a different trade strategy here that incorporates RSI and MACD. I've noticed that the RSI and the MACD on the 1 minute chart not as followable as some of the other time frames.
Yeah, and you got to find what time frame works for you, right? I mean, I think that's very important. I talk about all the time how 15 minutes seems to work for me, but you got to find what works for you guys, right? And a combination of things definitely helps. A combination of variables is going to give you what? More conviction. All right, JPM, we'll see what happens there, but getting a little bit of a pop there, so it could come back to the VWAP. That's where I got to be a little bit careful if it does come back and then gets hit. But I'm going to just start holding off break even for the rest and looking for the bigger win. JPM. All right, there's a nice move there in JPM. I'll look for that to go through that. I'm looking for a short on Upstart at the VWAP around 35.50s, 35.60s. If I could get it to make that nice little move here and then get short on it around 35.60s, I still like it.
IXLH might be trying to bounce here. We'll see. If this bounce does not materialize and hold here, I will most likely be out. Ooh, they took some of the size that was on the offer there. They actually brought in a pretty big bid down there at 222 as well. So that's definitely the point of no return here on IXHL.
About 1 cent away from getting filled here. Trying to get filled here on Upstart. It's not filling, so I'm just going to probably... All right, got in there. 54s, short 54s. Out for Upstart is 35.77, but I got a start short there at the 54s. Now you're in the 60s. Could add a little bit more here. Big thing is I see the SPY hanging at the bottom here of the range. Will we take another leg lower? That's, I think, a very important outlook here.
Indeed.
Q's trying to come back, but they really haven't come back to VWAP. That's one thing that I'm looking for like an SQQQ try later today. If I could get a nice little big pullback on the SQQQ, I could take a shot. That'd be a pullback to 1925s. Upstart about to squeeze me out. We just got the quick move here. We'll see if I do get cut out in the 77s.
See this move, the reason I'm still managing this losing trade instead of just cutting it and moving on is it's kind of trading sideways here. So we yanked, we pulled out some of those weak hands. We're holding in here. We're holding above a pretty big bid that was brought in here. A move back up is going to let me get out of this probably for a profit and give me an opportunity to add if I feel confident enough. Another benefit of using a reduced position size at the beginning. We'll see if it curls here. If it's unable to really kind of curl up and make that curl formation on this chart, we'll cut it and look for something else. That's kind of what I'm waiting for to materialize here.
All right, I took the hit a little bit, and I got actually right back in it there because it just seems like it was a little bit of a blow off top there that a guy could have got stop hunted on. So what I did is I came in it with a, let's say, reduced size. So I had like 200 shares. I came in with half the size now to come after it up here. But of course, I need to see the SPY take down. And it did make a red candle, but didn't really break the 40s. That's where I got to be careful. The SPY just starts shooting back up. Watch out on the shorts. Could have just been a wick stop out there. At least I know my out now, which is that 80s. So only risking about $10 here for right now. JP Morgan working pretty well there for me. Now down to 42.17s. Well, that would break 42s. I would need the SPY to crack.
Some buying volume coming into ILXH here. We'll see. I don't feel good about this. I feel like I'm going to cut this, but I want to wait and make sure. Hate getting trapped in a bad trade.
All right, well, the SPY do the cut down now. Looking to see it here. JPM deep into the green now. Cutting towards 142.12s. Going to get the 142 cut down here. 10 more cents, and I'll take some green off of JPM. Seeing a little bit of a bounce there in the SPY. Watching JPM right now, guys, seeing if I get that cut down through the 142s. Not going to add there on Upstart because I've already taken a hit on it, but don't mind with the half size to just see if I can get that money back and a little bit more. Big level here on the SPY, guys. I'll show you guys a chart right now. Look how this is just going sideways here. Even on the 1 minute, you can see how the sideways action here, it could come back really quickly here. So just be careful out there. Now I'm getting 142.12s, 142.10s here on JPM. I'm going to have to pay myself here a little bit because the SPY just looks like it wants to come back. There's a little bit of a move back already. All right, setting up a stop here at 25s. As JPM comes back up through 25s, I think it will get to the VWAP. So with that being said, I'm looking for the takedown here through 142s. One way that you can do that is using a trailing stop. That's what I'm doing right now. Just trailing it down to see if I can get that 142 crack. There's a nice little push down there. Now we're at 142.06, 142s. So cancel that. Now I'm going to go ahead and look to go ahead and take majority of it off here. Took majority of it off there at 142.03s. Now only have 50 shares left, but back into the green, even though I took that Upstart hit. And we still have some shares from 142.45 for another move down through the 142.85s. And going to keep the rest of it break even. Look for that cut down through the 141.80s and make a little bit more on JPM.
ILXH here, stop at 221. If we break the 222, it'll be out. The computer will do it automatically for me.
Now I need the SPY to reject 437 like 80s again and not go back above that, because if not, I got to take the profits there also on JPM. Upstart, let's go to Upstart, see how that's doing right now, and let's see if that can go a little bit lower here. I have 35.69, so now this is looking really good. I can add here and then look for the takedown a little bit more, but that doesn't seem like a smart decision because I'll move right back, gets me right back into that risk zone, right? So I'm just looking for the continued takedown to 35s. If I get that takedown to 35s, we get $70. What did we lose earlier? I lost 56 on the earlier move. So got to try to make that back in a little bit more. Of course, I double sized. And then so I'm looking for a little bit lower size here.
Stopped out of ILHX.
SPY looks like it's trying to come back, and that's where we got to be a little bit careful. All right, for JPM, you need to go ahead and set a stop here for the remaining shares at that 142.20s. So what am I doing? I'm just trailing it down. There's Upstart with that little bit of a squeeze there. It might get me out here through the 81. If it hits 81, I'm out with the remaining shares on the Upstart move. There's the SPY making another down move here. JPM, will this make another down move and keep going lower? SQQQs, is that pulling back to the VWAP? Yeah, technically is down on the VWAP here. Take a look there at the SQQQs. Might take a trade there from, of course, Moo.
Sweet Green. Nick gave us the news bomb earlier. Sweet Green doing a really good job holding its up move and its VWAP here despite a rough market. So Sweet Green really holding in there, actually kind of flagging right now. Let me go ahead and put that up on the screen. Actually kind of flagging right here, flagging above VWAP. Would love to see this actually break through and make a run towards 15 and a possible pop above. So Sweet Green still holding in there.
NVIDIA back above VWAP. So just to kind of call that out there, multiple tops here in the 418.20 area. So we'll look to see if that comes right back down, but it is above VWAP. We'll see if that gets hit here and gets the whack right back down. All right, we'll see if the Qs come right back down. Upstart hitting me again, guys. $13. Give up on that one on the little bit of a squeeze there. Qs back at VWAP.
Smoke Tuna saying CRBU could pull back to VWAP. A pullback to VWAP would actually be a decent long side entry there if we end up getting that CRBU. Let's see where we're at on that. Still up 60% here on the day, holding that 650. This was a good win. I'm glad I got this win out of the gate because that makes the ILHX trade really not bad as I started off with the win to get into the green. Would love to see this pull back to the VWAP again. If we get a flush down to that VWAP, Smoke Tuna, that's what I really want to see more than anything else. A flush to the VWAP, a hold, that would set up a long side entry here.
All right, Tesla in a bear flag here, and we'll look to see if it rejects the third resistance here and then comes right back down. So watching here to see if it can come breaking down here. I'll show you guys the bear flag right now. Tesla bear flag here. We'll look to see if this comes right up here towards this 275.75 and then cuts down through 275. That's what I'm looking for. But of course, you guys can call your own shots there. Down one action. Up one action, down two, up two, down three. You can see this kind of action all day long and then rejection down. So just be careful out there. We'll look to see if we get that downside action or not. In Tesla, the dragon. How the oil stocks doing, man? I just want to continue watching oil just making me money. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. ExxonMobil with the leak and leak and leak. Look at that, man. Oh, that's a nice one.
Meta curling back up and going for 300.
Didn't go down. Upstart still hanging around that same spot. I don't know if I want to come back after it, though. That'd be a little bit of a hard trade there. SPY trying to come back there through the 438. We'll look to see if it comes back to VWAP. Q's trying to regain VWAP. So just be careful, guys. Doesn't mean things can't come right back up to the upside. Find out right here. Smash the like. You guys enjoying the show? Yeah, I'm talking to you out there right now. You enjoying it? Hit that like button down below. Let's go.
EDTX, good call there. Bex halted to the upside on EDTX. The units are also halted if that's something that you're looking to trade. Big volume flow into that. Nice $2 move here on that pop on that volume flow. EDTX, good spot, Bex. Oh, I see one of the golfers I'm about to beat tomorrow.
Ooh, let them know. Let them know, Ryan.
Well, as soon as we get out of here, man.
All right, Q's rejecting the VWAP there. Will they come right back down? That's one thing I'm looking at. I'm looking at potentially a short here on NVIDIA. All right, little starter there with 50 shares there at, ooh, got a bad fill there, 417. It was at 417.30s. Come on, man. You're killing me. But I marketed in there. That's what you get, Mitch. That's what you get. But took a little bit there, 50 shares short there of NVIDIA off the kind of like 418s right now with those 50 shares. Looking for the crackdown below the VWAP. The big thing is the Qs. Can those Qs come right back down? You can see them rejecting here. I just want to see if they're going to go lower. Back above the VWAP. That's where you got to be careful. SPY also made a move back down. Didn't come to the VWAP. That could help my day PM trade just keep going lower. It's at the 141.80s. I could take it all off. Looking for a little bit more here. All right, NVIDIA now down below the 417s. I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce because I got a little bit of an ugly fill there. But there he goes. Now to 416.60s. Let's see if this really kind of flushes through the VWAP. That's a supporting area right now. We'll look to see if it hits there and goes lower.
Mitch, you check out a firm's chart today?
A firm.
Look at my screen. Just weakness, folks.
Dude,
down 15% here today.
We had the right idea on pre-market prep. If you guys don't watch pre-market prep, well, then I think you guys are definitely on the struggles, but definitely check it out. Of course, that's the morning show every morning. And what did we talk about? Selling the rips in the trash names, a firm going lower. The one that I got hit, though, Carvana, man, that stop out. Oh, so frustrated because remember, what was the level that I was looking at to take the profits near was 24.50. It's right there right now. So it's just hanging out there. We'll see if this goes lower eventually. Upstart, will this come right back down? I mean, we'll have to see the Qs kind of wipe out right back to the downside. It's above VWAP, though. We'll see what happens.
Take a look at Plug Power, ticker Plug.
Plug.
Citi says this could be one of the largest green hydrogen suppliers globally. Coverage on the company with a buy rating. Price target of $13 implies about a 22.1% upside from Wednesday's close. In a note, they say that the company has established its dominance in the material handling business with 9 publicly disclosed pedestrian companies or customers, including Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, and GM, which 2 additional customers in discussion. And they also said in that note that we believe a favorable guidance on additionality, time matching, progress towards gross margin improvement, and financial support from the DOE could all be positive catalysts.
Plug Power down 6.6% today.
Oh, yeah, nice news coming in there. Q's back above VWAP. Plug, definitely. Fuel cell overall, right? I mean, it's definitely, I think, the future. The only question is when. I think that's the answer that you need, and that's the harder one to answer. All right, if the Qs kind of recover there, got to be careful. Your Qs could just push right back, right? NVIDIA back up here to 418s. Could just squeeze higher through that 418.20s. That's where I'd get out with my little measly 50 shares. See what happens. JPM deep into the green now, 141.70s. That's just keep paying me well there. Now down to 31. Ooh. There goes another little hit there. 141.68. That's looking good there for me. Nice little move. How can NVIDIA reject? NVIDIA reject. JPM, it's down there to 141.70s. Shorted this one by the VWAP. Let's probably just take the profits off that. It's such a small amount I have left there. I have about 50 shares left. All right, can we get one more leg down? It's trying to hit it right now. 141.70s. Big thing is the Qs haven't made that red move. There's the red. SPY overall, kind of holding on that bottom outlook right there. All right, since we could bounce here, that's where I got to be a little bit smart there. Come on. Q's trying to recover that VWAP.
Megan asking here, is Threads really that big of a deal? Megan, I think this is a really good question. My opinion of this would be no, but I'm very, very negative Facebook. So it would be important to keep my bias in mind there. This is really the $64,000 question then. Nick, do you have any insight into whether or not this is going to be a big deal for Meta?
You know, that's the question too, and I don't really have any insight, but just from what I've seen, we actually have a .com article on our own website that says Meta's Threads crosses 10 million users milestone in 7 hours. And this is going to be the talk of, because there's already journalists that are verified on Meta. And so here's the question. Are people going to be pivoting from Twitter to this new Threads because it's going to be a real platform? It's going to be with a real blue check mark that says, hey, this is Ryan Faluna. He's a real journalist. He's with Benzinga. And so this is the question. Is Meta going to be, is this Threads going to overtake Twitter? Is this going to be the new news platform? How is this all going to incorporate stock market news in general? I know Reuters, Benzinga themselves, Bloomberg, AP, they're already on Threads trying to push their content out. And so now you have to say, now with TweetDeck, you have to be verified here in about 30 days when on Twitter. Are you going to pay $8 a month to do TweetDeck and Twitter? And are you going to be able to be limited on Twitter? Why are you going to be limited like these rate limits where Threads you're free to go?
Yeah. So the point about TweetDeck there, yes. So first of all, I will absolutely pay the $8 to be part of a site that does not censor content. Yes. The second part of your question there is really the bigger one. I'm not necessarily worried about news agencies like us, Bloomberg, Reuters pushing their content. That's going to happen anyway. Really, the question is going to be, do the users adopt that? And I would imagine that there's going to be a contingent that will, because they're just mad at Elon and mad at Twitter. But will that be enough to gain critical mass? That to me, that question, the jury's still out on that.
It all depends on what features they add to Threads that people like. Right now, as I mentioned in the news at the beginning, people don't like how it's just free flowing. Why don't you have like a tab that says just the people you follow? Are you going to be eventually be able to get to direct messaging? You know, it's going to be very hard to just basically replicate Twitter altogether. It's going to take some time, and Zuckerberg has been very active on the platform, basically saying in the long term, this is going to be a good platform, and we're eventually going to get to it where they think more people are going to use it. But, you know, like every app, everybody rushed over to Bluesky, Mastodon real quickly, and then those apps just died down. Post News, people just basically hurried up and said, we're going to try it. We may like it, we may not. But now we have the same thing for Meta. 10 million users in 7 hours. Oh my gosh, it's a new platform. But are they going to be able to keep those subscriptions? Are they going to be able to keep them for the long term?
Bingo. And that's kind of what I'm wondering, Nick. And I don't have an answer for you on that. The other aspect of what you talked about with the rate limit, I'll say this. I suspect that some of these things that he's playing around with this rate limit are temporary. I'm with you on the whole TweetDeck for $8. Yes, I myself, that's definitely something I'm going to pay for. TweetDeck is the best way to consume Twitter. It's not even really close, to be honest. And that's worth the price right there. The rate limit stuff, I don't think we've seen the end of that. I think you're going to see multiple changes there. And I think maybe it's, again, just my belief in Elon, but I think at the end of the day, you're going to end up having something it's not going to be a detriment. And I think he's just trying to figure out the API scraping.
And that's true. But now we have to transition over to the new TweetDeck. And so how do you adopt to this new TweetDeck where I'm trying to find every way possible to make sure my columns, because I have columns for individual journalists, and their columns aren't updating. And that's a big loss right there.
Yeah, it is.
For columns that provide news updates, like me, Benzinga, and others. And so now you have to implement the fix. And so I'm in a TweetDeck group chat with a TweetDeck employee at Twitter, and we're trying to see what is working and what is not. I have expressed from day one, I am not a fan of TweetDeck right now, TweetDeck web app.
The new one. Right.
I'm not a fan of it just because we're mashing Twitter web app and TweetDeck together. And to me, that's just too much. Why just not have Twitter web app and TweetDeck instead of mashing everything together? I think it's too cluttered. I think there's just too much all in one platform where TweetDeck columns were great. Everything was updated. And so now you can customize if you just want to see the tweets, if you just want to see the replies. I think it's too complicated. I think if they just left it simple, once you add a column, you can see when they reply to someone, what they tweet, when they retweet. Instead, now you got all customizing. You got to figure out what's working and what's not.
Well, that's a good point. Really, really quick here, I just want to shout out a trade, another one from Dave. Dave, you're absolutely on fire here today. David called Twilio near this low, said long Twilio right here. Dave, I don't remember if you gave a specific price. The interesting thing about this, though, is that Twilio clearly clearing out this little bounce area here on this move up. 61.86 was that spot. I'd be interested to see how this thing reacts if it breaks above 62 on Twilio.
All right, guys, we'll see what happens here. If the market wants to come down, it's battling right now at the VWAP, so it's trying to determine if it wants to come up or not. Just be careful out there. I did get out of my JPM trade. SPY is also just hanging out at the bottom, not wanting to really come back to VWAP, so that's also a telling sign there. I'm looking for maybe a potential really kind of flush down here, but the truth is the Qs have to reject pretty quickly. I could also take a trade here off the SQQQs. It would be off the 1947 level here, but we'll see what happens with these stocks.
Crow asking where Beach is. Beach told us last week that he was going to be on vacation. He will be back. I believe he's out all of this week and some of next, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, looking to see if Meta is going to work its way back through towards the 298 here. Of course, we're talking about Threads, so let's see what happens with Meta.
Faluna says not going on. He's not on Instagram and he's not going on Threads. What about you, Mitch? You gonna try it out?
Well, here's the thing that I have, the problem that I have, and I think some people might actually have this issue too. So I'll just go ahead and state it. I have a very popular fake on Instagram, and very popular. He actually has more followers than I probably have on Twitter. So just be careful out there, team, with Instagram, right? I have so many fakes out there that it's ridiculous. So we'll see what happens there. Starting to see a little bit of a rejection here in Meta. I'm thinking about getting a little bit short, but I got to be careful because, Meta could definitely squeeze the 298s really quickly. So know exactly what type of range you're looking at. 71 cents on a 1 minute candle is something to keep in mind. I'm going to let this try to make one more up move and then fail. That's a move towards like 297.50s and then getting rejected. We'll see what happens there. But to me, yeah, so I have that fake issue that I have to go on. Then I have to go on Instagram, go back to one of my old accounts. I do have an account on there that's still active. I think it's under beginner trading. But I can change it over to like my name, but then I have to go and battle that fake account and try to get that canceled, right? So that's
Crow says that Crow says the fake is actually a cool guy. He talks to him sometimes. I actually couldn't believe it. Look.
The fake money Mitch, man, on Instagram. Be careful out there, team.
Well, then Ryan, and Mitch, then you had the question: are we going to get eventually a Threads deck app, a Threads web app? Like, are they going to be eventually expanding to the web browser?
All right, short some meta here, guys. Zuck. I'm taking a shot.
Mitch is not even waiting to ask Zuck. He's just shorting the hell out of it.
I'm just shorting him, bro. Just
get out of here.
Just like that. Just.
Who do you think wins the battle, Musk or Zuck?
Musk.
Oh, Musk.
For sure.
I'll take the other side. I go Zuckerberg. I go Zuck.
How much?
Oh, Zucky. Zuckity Zuck.
$5 for a lunch bet, Nick?
Sure. At least I've been saying this, MTV, you're sleeping, man. You could wake up. Just put another celebrity death match out. I don't know if TV can handle celebrity death match anymore, though.
Anyone want to host the fight? One of us?
Guys, look at IXHL. This is definitely kind of a bummer, as I ended up taking a loss on this. We traded down pretty big. This is moving back towards the highs. What I would say here is be careful on this break. We tried to trade this break last time, and it immediately yanked back. It's going to be a little bit better coming up off the bottom here. But IXHL not done here for today, it would appear.
All right, NVIDIA now down to 1470s. I had that from 1417s. If I can get it down to 1415s, I'll take some profit in that. Look to keep it going here. Oh, give me another little cut down here. Even 415s like 20s would be a nice little profit there. Ooh, just got another little cut down. Come on.
IXHL, just a huge pullback. This is what I'm saying with these. It's definitely better to buy the pullback. Just be careful. Sometimes they're not just one stick.
All right, 415.60s now on NVIDIA. Order out there at 415.20s to take some profit. I might have to move it up. It's just slowing down a little bit here. Yeah, I want to take some profit there. So I'm putting it out right below it. There you go. Should take it off there. Boom. Just took some profit there on NVIDIA. Only have 10 shares left. Just wanted to put myself deep into the green. I'm up about $60 on the day now, and I still got 2 positions. Meta going deep into the green there. So just going to keep watching Meta to see if that can cut down and keep coming down here. Short the Zuck.
No, long Zuck.
All right, so you see that cut down here on this trend line. Don't want it to recover through the 297, so I have a 297.10 out, but looking for the cut down towards like 295s there. And the big thing is we got to see the Qs come right back down towards the lows. You see it rejected the VWAP. It came down some, but it hasn't broken the lows. SPY, I need a new low and continuing to see that break down. We'll see if stocks like JPM actually make it back to VWAP. Some stocks bounce in today. But overall, we're still deep into the red. Every sector in the day is in the red. I'll run through it really quickly. Defensives, utilities are actually coming back a little bit strength there. Real estate, but everything else, healthcare, pretty much weak. Defensives look like they're coming back in utilities. So if you're looking at something that might be coming back, utilities and defensive names, of course, defensive names because they're just kind of like value safety plays. We'll look to see if Meta makes it back here. It's back there to 296. We'll see what happens. Did the Qs trap us? We'll find out. All right. And Smoke Tuna, don't worry. Regardless of where Genie goes today, I probably won't be getting out. I'm never getting out of that bad boy.
I like Smoke Tuna putting a disclaimer on all of the calls. That actually makes me laugh. Good job there.
All right, you take that, Megan. No worries. If you make the money off of me, I won't be mad at you.
It's what makes the market. You know, I've had a couple of people ask me about stocks that I've had and trades that haven't worked out. They've asked me, if I trade it and make money, will you be upset? And I'm puzzled by this question because no, I would never be upset for any of you making money. The reality of this business is that when I click buy or sell, that is one person's responsibility. That is my own. What you do, even if you're on the other side of the exact same stock, has no impact on my trading plan. I want all of our viewers and members to make money. If you trade something that I trade and you make money off of it and I lose money, I'm happy for you. I'm in a position where I don't go big enough on my own to wipe myself out. So you're not going to see that huge emotional, oh my God, I'm in big trouble. I get frustrated just like the rest of you when trades work out. Hell, I was frustrated on IXHL, but I took it in such a way where I'm not really going to hurt myself. So if you folks are making money off any of those tickers, that's what we want. It doesn't matter if you make money off of a stock we take a loss on. That is what makes a market.
Oh, yeah. And what about a Tesla short here? So I can't go about it like that in the Moo account, but you know what? I'm actually going to step up with this one. I was looking at 64s. I need to put it up there towards. I'm trying to get filled here on Tesla Qs. There you go. I put it up there to 63s. I'm 1 cent off of the entry here. It's already coming up though. So I'm looking to try to get here Tesla Qs, TSLQ. If you guys don't know what that is, come on, give me a little pullback fill here in Tesla. Trying to get it here, trying to get the moo. Come on. That moo in there. Right there at 64, so should get filled in a second here. Will Tesla do the takedown? Remember, I actually drew this trade out here. Look at this, how this is working out here. So I drew this out, right? I said one more pop into that area and then a rejection off of that. Bear chart looks really nice there. We'll look to see if Tesla goes right back down. So this is the outlook, right, that I drew. It was an up move followed by the down move and then a cut down through that lower move. And look at that. That's looking good right there in Tesla. And this is the rule of 3. I don't want to have to say it again. You're only getting it once today. The good stuff.
I'm glad you clarified with that hand motion what you meant.
No fill there, man. That's a little frustrating. I was right off those 64s. No fill. We're already at 68s there. So trying to grab this, but if it doesn't come back, I mean, yeah, 30-70s. Not getting filled there. It's a little frustrating there, guys. I wanted to get some moo there going here on TSLQ, but no fill there. So going to probably have to just cancel down here.
All right, folks, I'm going to jump here for the day. Mitch, no live trading tomorrow, right? Let's give that PSA out today.
Yes, no live trading tomorrow. I want to let you guys all know we will be having a little bit of a company-wide meeting here, our quarterly meeting. So no live trading tomorrow. It's 10:58. We're going to bring you guys over to All Access in just a second here. Just wanted to thank, of course, Ryan Faluna. Like always, you guys can give him a follow at Ryan Faluna there. Definitely give him a Twitter follow. What are you guys waiting for? All 300 of you guys. Go right now to Ryan and give him a nice follow.
I'm trying to get to 4K. I'm trying to get to 4K followers. Help me out.
I love it. And then, of course, Nick Brown, news by Nick. You see the underscores there. Definitely give him a follow. My man dropping some bombs today. It's always good to have you, Nick Brown. And good luck on your New York.
Oh.
What is going on?
Ryan gave me the boot. That's what happens. That's what happens when you give somebody the power.
So I tried to remove myself after saying goodbye, and I removed Mitch mid-chat. Oh, Mitch, I'm sorry.
It's all good, guys.
While I'm behind, Mitch. We'll see you.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure joining you. We'll see everybody next Friday.
All right. Pulling down everything. Have a good one, Nick. Have fun in New York.
Rich.
That's what I wanted to say. So definitely have a good time, man. We'll see you.
Have a good one. I'll be watching the show remotely.
That's what I love to hear, man. Definitely have a good one, Nick. And time to switch over. I'll be bringing on my man Zunaid in just a second. Just wanted to wrap up. Still got Meta and NVIDIA. You want to find out more about these trades? Well, come over to Start Swing Trade. That's going to start at 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss that. I will see you guys over there. Now to get you guys over on the All Access Life as we bring on Zunaid. Yes, I said Zunaid. You guys smashed the like. You guys know my man. How we doing, Zunaid? It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Mitch. Good luck with the trade, and thank you for having me on.
Always good to see you, my friend, and have fun and get ready, guys, to uncover some new stories.
All right. Appreciate you, pal. And welcome, everybody. It's always a pleasure for us to go ahead and bring on executives from publicly traded companies so we can go ahead and have your questions answered directly. So make sure you're active in the chat, and I'll do my best to get things taken care of. We actually talked to this company a while back, quite after they went public. So we're going to kind of engage in some conversations and see what they're up to. Today, we'll be talking to Dennis, who is a CEO, and John, who is a CFO of Dragonfly Energy. Ticker on NASDAQ is DFLI. All access starts right now. Fellas, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. It's nice to be here, Zunaid.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Welcome. And, I'd love for you to go ahead and kick us off here, Dennis. We've talked a little bit in the past, but for the folks at home that may not be familiar with your company, if you could quickly just explain it to me like I'm five, what is it that your company does?
Yeah, happy to. So Dragonfly Energy is a lithium-ion battery technology company. And the focus of our technology is on the manufacturing of the cells. And we actually developed a dry powder coating process to manufacture cells and onshore the manufacturing in a very cost-effective manner. We've been working on that for like a decade. That has since evolved into the application of the process to all solid-state batteries. While at the same time, we also assemble battery packs, and we sold these battery packs into markets traditionally dominated by lead-acid batteries, primarily RVs. That market was very, very successful for us over the last 5-6 years. And it took us to profitability. We ended up going public last year. And right now we are looking to both deploy the onshoring of the cells with a pilot line, while also growing into other adjacent markets that are currently dominated by lead acid batteries for storage.
Awesome. Appreciate the insight there. And John, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I think we got to talk to you guys maybe like late 2022, it was just right after Dragonfly Energy went public. I'd love to hear from your point of view. How have things been since that point?
So, I mean, I think that, everybody knows, last year as we went public, the second half of last year, there was obviously a lot of turmoil in the markets with the rising interest rates, as well as some of the inflation hangover and things like that were going on. We were very fortunate to be successful with the go public process. And I would say that the markets are still somewhat challenging, right? So I think that, for small and micro cap stocks, I think it is still a challenge to get some recognition, to get noticed out there. We recently were added to the Russell index. And I think that is something that we're keenly focused on. We think that, opens up some opportunities for some new investment dollars to come in. But overall, the marketplace is challenging, I think, because of some of the macroeconomic factors. But as Dennis mentioned, between the core business continuing to grow and some of the new things that we have coming on from the R&D and development side, we're pretty bullish about where we sit right now.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Russell here in a second. But Dennis, I wanted to come to you in terms of what y'all have been up to, especially because in terms of, I feel like the market sometimes doesn't give companies enough credit for serious advancements that they've been kind of making and strides, and the market may not react favorably to a company. Do you feel like that's going on with your company?
I do. I mean, shame on us for having revenue. That's something that, we're very much tied to that. I thought that was the purpose of a business, but it is interesting. We as John mentioned, there's been headwinds in our core markets, in markets that are driven by discretionary spending, like RVs and boats. But that hasn't really wavered us from the core mission that we have, which is to basically revolutionize grid storage with new battery technology that we've been developing. And you're right, the markets right now are not giving us any credit for our technology, for the patent portfolio that we amassed, spanning, not just cell manufacturing and solid state technology, but even pack assembly technologies, even how batteries communicate, how data is amassed and delivered. We work on all of that stuff, and there's a lot of noise in this space, and it's hard to get the word out, but we're trying.
Well, so let's stick with, you for a second in terms of recent announcements that you've had. You talked about the RV market. I know you've partnered up with a couple of folks as well. Tell us about that and how it's going to help you get more revenue and profitability as well down the road.
Well, we've partnered up with with the largest RV manufacturer in the world, with Thor Industries. They put in a strategic investment last year. And I mean, that's very good for us because it really solidifies our standing in the RV market. Now, at the same time, it's important for us to expand from there. We're not an RV company, we're a battery company. The RV market has been fantastic for us because we really did demonstrate how we can use our technology to revolutionize an industry. I mean, basically now you can go out in your RV, be completely off grid and still run all of your appliances, So we can take what we've learned there and, reestablish ourselves in some of these adjacent markets that are dominated by lead acid battery storage. And the unique thing for us is it really is a great stepping stone to what we want to do in the medium and longer term, which is to put a lot more storage on the grid. And we've been touting this message for so long because as electric vehicles become more ubiquitous, you need to solidify the grid to allow for more efficient charging and a stable grid. So, the partnerships that we've developed in our core markets are important for us, but we are also in the process of developing partnerships for our longer term markets, particularly with utility companies, to really solidify where we stand in that market.
Well, hey, it looks like you've already got an investor in the chat hanging out with us as well. So I'm sure these are things that she likes to hear. John, you're the money man, the Russell 2000. We talked about it earlier. Why does that matter?
So I think it's a nice validation for where we've kind of gotten to as a company. Coming public late last year and then essentially 6-7 months later being included in that Russell, I think is a nice validation. And as Dennis mentioned, it's not just the culmination of I think going public, but all of the work that went before that. He made the comment earlier, shame on us for having revenue, having a history of driving profitable growth. Those are all things that I think we certainly expect to get back to late this year or into 2024. But having that history behind us, I think with the Russell sort of recognizing that history and our capabilities as a company, even when we were private, goes a long way again to validating where we've really gotten to now.
Yeah, and I want to give Dennis here a chance to go ahead and talk about the advancement in the non-flammable battery manufacturing as well, especially mainly the patents, because I've watched enough Shark Tank to know that patents is what really helps you get that money.
Yeah, well, patents are an important part of the game. That's for sure. It's one part of it. But when we innovate, we certainly try to protect what we've innovated. And so, as I mentioned, the core technology is a dry powder coating process. You're eliminating the solvent associated with the formation of the electrodes, the anode and the cathode in a battery. There's been a little bit of noise around this as well. I know that Tesla, for example, has been trying to apply the Maxwell process, which is a solvent-free process. More recently, Volkswagen announced that they were the first to do it with the anode and the cathode. They obviously don't know who we are. That's okay. So we've been doing it for quite some time. And not only have we successfully dry powder coated cells with all kinds of different chemistries, whether it's our LFP chemistry or NMC, NCA, LCO, even anode chemistries like graphite and silicon. But what's even more exciting is we've extended the dry powder coating process to make an all solid state battery with a ceramic heavy composite electrolyte. What that means is it's not flammable. So what we see as a huge benefit to the dry powder coating process is the ability to produce a non-flammable storage battery. So we're not focused on electric vehicles and propulsion. We are uniquely capable to make that non-flammable storage battery that can be deployed in every grid-tied home, grid-tied business. And that's what we see is really going to facilitate the deployment of renewable energy on the grid, ultimately. So where we have made great strides in our technology is perfecting the powder coating process, building out our pilot line, and applying it to solid state batteries.
And I'll stick with you here because, oftentimes we see companies that are doing one thing and they do it really well, but it doesn't really drive the needle in terms of performance, revenue, and different things like that to where you want to go in terms of potential. I believe you opened up a new facility in Nevada, if I remember correctly. Are you only manufacturing like one type of battery? Is it a variety of them, or like just trying to get an idea if you're a Swiss Army knife, or how do we go?
So the technology can be described as a Swiss Army knife in terms of the pilot line that we're completing right now. The core business, we're just assembling lithium iron phosphate battery packs. So we really are focused on one chemistry in our core business of displacing lead acid batteries in different markets. So we have a 100,000 square foot facility now where we do the assembly, and we've also built out our pilot line. And we also have several other facilities, an R&D facility. I'm actually in a different facility here at Dragonfly where we do some of these interviews. So yeah, we are definitely in high growth mode as we start to deploy the new technology. But we are going to focus on storage, on lithium iron phosphate, graphite, and ultimately with that composite electrolyte.
Yeah, well, look, if you ever want someone to test out the RV batteries, you call me, especially in Vegas. I will do a live interview with you there. John, let's talk about the money one last time before we wrap things up. I believe you announced the closing of a 20 million underwritten public offering that just happened. Now, a lot of folks may not understand what that means for the present and the future. So if you could quickly give me a tidbit on that.
Sure. So, as we mentioned, going public late last year, the markets were certainly challenging, and you got a lot of redemptions in terms of going through the SPAC process. So, what we really went out and did here just a few weeks ago was to raise the necessary capital that we needed, both from a capital equipment perspective as well as an operating perspective, to really get that pilot line finished and up and running, so we can start to deliver sample cells to potential customers later this year. So really the raise was all about enabling us to finish up the substantial amount of work that we've already put in, but really finish up the establishment of that pilot line. So as Dennis mentioned, we can start providing a variety of different cell chemistries off that one pilot line. I think that really speaks to the flexibility of the process and the technology that Dennis and the team have developed. But the raise was really about giving us that cushion, if you will, to go ahead and finish up this line and make sure that we have the operating capital that we need to run this across a variety of different chemistries.
It takes money to make money. John, final thoughts from you? Anything that you wanted to discuss before we turn it over?
No, I would just say, again, I think that, as Dennis mentioned, we're a company that may be relatively new to the capital markets, but we've got a long and I think successful history. And I think it's one where a lot of the opportunity is still very much in front of us. So, we're excited with where we sit today, and we think, we represent a pretty good opportunity for folks.
And I appreciate you for joining, John. Dennis, final thoughts? Anything you wanted to cover that I didn't get a chance to bring up? You've got investors in the chat and possibly future investors as well.
Well, all I can say is we're going to continue to build a kick-ass company.
Short and sweet and to the point, and that's the way we like it. Thank you so much. That is Dennis, the CEO, and John, CFO of Dragonfly Energy. Ticker on NASDAQ is DFLI. Thank you for watching All Access.